Now, I know a lot of my videos tend to be related to travel and restaurant reviews and hotel reviews, but I just wanted to have this sort of discussion here on YouTube and put it out there to people in Thailand for questions and answers on this. Like, yes, for the record, I'm in a committed relationship with my girlfriend Anne, as you guys know on YouTube. But before that, we had done the online dating thing. She'd been talking to other people, I'd been talking to other people, and but during that whole process, yes, we stopped engaging in relationship talk with people that we'd been talking to online after we decided to be together. But then there was this one guy who decided that Anne was his possession, basically, and he was going to have her and that was it. Even though he had never met her before, they were not in a relationship, he had just made that decision. She is his, that's it. No one else is going to have her. So she decided to be in a relationship with me. Eventually, because he was continuing to put force and pressure on her, we had to block him. And so I blocked him, she blocked him, and then eventually her Facebook account was hacked. We don't know whether it was him or not, but after that, basically her cousins, her friends were being contacted, demanding that she contact him, and then he had made indirect threats around the fact that he knows who her family and friends are, and that maybe he didn't tell her everything about him, which to me was an indirect threat when I read those messages, and I have copies of them in case I have to use them for the police if he comes to Thailand and causes us trouble. But on that side of things, over a period of time, he's continued and attempted to contact us through various social media means. And Anne showed me all the messages and attempts that he's made to contact either her or friends or relatives. And to me, in my country in Australia, as a social worker, I used to do a lot of work preventing domestic violence, whether it was the females stalking the men or men stalking the women, etc. I was working behind the scenes with a lot of domestic violence victims. And this, to me, this even social media stalking, it's not in person, it's still a form of stalking. And it's still threatening, it's still intimidating, and it's still scary to the victims when they're getting chased like this. And in Australia, eventually we would get police charges against them, apprehended violence orders against them, and in previous careers I've actually got some of these guys locked up and put in jail, and some of these girls locked up, depending on whether it was the male or female stalking. And I like to talk in gender neutral terms, because both females and males can be domestic violence perpetrators. But it's very risky online dating. And this is what I want to talk to you guys about, that you have to be very careful when you're doing online dating, and you have to really dig into the personality of the other person. Because what we got here was a guy that at first she thought was a nice guy, was a half decent guy, and that's why she was talking to him online. And yes, she knew he had problems with alcohol, and he was a bit of an alcoholic. But outside of that, she thought he was okay. But then he started exhibiting all these really aggressive and threatening traits. And when I started to see them occurring, I said to Anne, he's probably got a history of violence. He's probably got a history of aggression in his own country, because no one behaves like this online unless they have a history of violence in their own lives. And if they're behaving like this online, what are they behaving in relationships face to face would probably be a lot worse, from my experience in my past professions. But what I really want to have a discussion with here is, I know Australian law. I'm not familiar with Thai law and how to prevent stalking and harassment. And I want to hear about some of the experiences of both Thai people and Western people here in Thailand that have actually faced harassment and stalking from either people they've met on online dating, whether they're ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, whatever they are, and what you guys have actually done to prevent these people from continuing to harass and stalk you. Because we're at the point where we're thinking of, okay, then what police action do we take against this guy if he comes to Thailand and continues to harass us? And yeah, we've started to collect all the evidence, all the stalking messages and stuff like that, just in case we have to use them. And because that's part of my past career, I collect evidence, I do investigations. And yes, in this particular case, if we need to make a police statement, we will. But I'm not familiar with the current legal laws against stalking and harassment within Thailand on a social media sphere or even on a face-to-face sphere. So if you can enlighten me on these terms or even give your own examples and experiences of this so that you can help other people across Thailand protect themselves, I would much appreciate it in this video. And so please share your experiences here. And I know it's a serious topic, but I just felt it was something that needed to be discussed here on a social media platform so that we could help protect other people from these sorts of people. And usually if they're stalking and harassing, they've got some sort of mental health problem, they've got anger issues, they've probably got other things going on, they could have drug or alcohol addictions, all sorts of things going on for them. And they could have a history of violence against other people in their own countries, or even here, if it's someone from here that's stalking. So you've got to really be careful when you're doing online dating out there, and any dating in particular. And if you feel a relationship is toxic, a relationship is damaging to you on a psychological level, on a physical level, there's elements of psychological control, physical control, financial control, then you may have to rethink the relationship, because it could be quite a toxic and abusive relationship. Relationships should be about empowering you and making you feel good and supporting each other. There shouldn't be any threats or control in relationships on any level at all. And so, and in your own country, in Thailand here, I would look up what is domestic violence, what is a toxic relationship, what is an unhealthy relationship, because you do want to protect yourself, whether you're male, female, transgender, whatever. You want to protect yourself from harm. And so being familiar with these sorts of laws in your own countries is extremely important. And you need to know when it's appropriate to get out of the relationship or seek police help, or even seek help of friends or family, and even have a safety plan to actually exit these sorts of relationships. But share your experiences with me, and so that we can share knowledge across Thailand on how to support people, give people information, give people websites where to go, give people numbers to call, so that they know if they're stuck in this country, whether an expat or a Thai person, they at least know where to seek help. Anyway, again, I apologise for such a serious video, but I felt it was a topic that needed to be discussed, and it was very personal to me because it was causing a bit of distress in our relationship with this stalker that we've got right now. Anyway, please share your experiences and your knowledge of the laws in Thailand, and let's see what we can do to support each other here in these sorts of situations. Thank you. And if you like my videos generally, please subscribe and hit like.